Hello, once again. It is time to take a look at what's been happening in these markets for the movement we're seeing on a Friday. I'm Susan Littlefield on the Rural Radio Network, and joining us today is going to be Kyle Bumsted. And I know that we've got a lot of negativity that's working right back into this cattle complex for a Friday. Kyle, are you seeing, and what is the reason for this backing off on the prices?
Well, it's a good question, Susan. To me, it looks like cash trade here has been a little bit lighter here in Nebraska here today so far. A lot of folks are talking 203, 204 yesterday on Thursday, and now we're trading as low as 202 to some majors here. And a lot of folks are really, saying, oh, they're really close to the knife. We sold these cattle earlier in the week, and they're going to be dead here first part of next week. And yeah, that's typically a bullish story, but I have to think of it in a different way. When you've got packer margins the way they are, they're not going to have much inventory around them. So it's going to be kind of hand to mouth as much as they can get. So here on Friday, we're seeing that kind of action here. We're also seeing some commercial bear spreading here. The April's losing ground to June, June losing ground to August, August losing ground to October in the live cattle. Same thing in the feeder cattle, although the index looks like it's going to be up about $1.80, $1.81 here today when the Merc updates it later. We are still seeing some bear spreading with March losing ground to April, April losing ground to May, and May losing ground to the August. So there are some very well-known seasonals coming up here as well in the month of late February, early March here, as far as the back end of the complex in cattle. Typically keeps a little bit of premium out there to the front months. So I think there could be a little bit of that weighing in here as well too. Some speculative money maybe coming off the table as well, Susan.
Well, and we look at the fact that the North really hasn't done a lot of cattle sales this week, but I understand the Packers are saying, hey, we're okay because we've got the cattle we need for the week.
Right. And I've heard that too. Some of these cattle that they were buying last month, they're kind of finally coming to the knife here this month. So, yeah, there's a lot of that talk as well too. And one thing that's really stands out to me is how box beef just can't catch a bid. Although we're a long ways away from grilling season yet, so the demand could be slow in here for a little bit as far as the box beef goes.
So are the grains being led by the commercials today?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing so far today. It looks like some commercial buying in the soybeans and the corn, especially wheat a little bit to a lesser extent. But yeah, it looks like the wheat kind of led the push here to the upside here. There's some chatter about the Black Sea region over there as far as what's maybe going down over there. So maybe there's some headlines tied to that. However, if that were the case, crude oil wouldn't be making new lows on the day as we record this. So, that's kind of I think that the wheat market here, they've been, they've been sellers in the wheat market and they've been short the wheat for quite some time. But maybe they're doing a little bit of short covering here today and maybe a little bit of commercial buying, but the volume really doesn't support that.
All right. Thanks so much, Kyle. Kyle Bumsted's joined us today. By the way, you're going to be able to hear more from Kyle later on today during the channel Final Bell. Should you miss it, pick it up as a podcast at ruralradionetwork.com. And that's a look to what we see in those markets. I'm Susan Littlefield for the Rural Radio Network.